Welcome everyone to another Friday Facts. This week we're going to run relatively quickly through the Friday Facts, and we're also going to talk about some other topics and events that have happened throughout the week. We're going to go into some AIA Florida information, some scholarship information that's been going out there, as well as some AIA National and NCARB information. As usual, I have a link to all the topics that I've covered, or at least most of the topics that I'll be covering. So if you see something that you're interested in, make sure you look at the description down below to follow the link to that particular content that you may want to find more about. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Here we are on another installment of Friday Facts. We're going to start with the JLI training session. Annie Seifel, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, shared her insights on how to identify blind spots, which she describes as unknown character traits that could be hindering someone's ability to be a good leader. With the JLI training being halfway complete for 2021, the class hopes to finish its remaining sessions in person, including a graduation and ceremony at AIA's Florida Annual Convention and Trade Show, which once again happens between July 15th through the 18th in Orlando. JLI training Brett Hood will provide a presentation on transformational leadership and making a difference in your organization. I completely recommend at least trying to show up for that presentation. I hear he is a great presenter, and I'll make sure that I attend that session, as I've heard great things about it. Next up is the Florida Legislature and the Good Samaritan bills and more. So we have HB 891. It was favorably voted out of the House Civil Justice and Property Rights Committee and into the Judiciary Committee as of Friday the 2nd. Here's what you were most likely going to see if you follow the link down below. There's plenty of information to go through if you're interested to hearing more about it. We talked about it last week, and so this week is just a quick touch up on that. Then we move on to SB 2008, which is the Tourist and Convention Development Taxes, which would allow a county to impose such a tax to finance flood mitigation projects or improvements, which was temporarily postponed in the Senate Community Affairs Committee. Next up are the backbone of the Resilient Florida program. So we're talking about the relatively young SB 1954. We see her rising. The documentative SB 2512, and not to mention or forget the old trusting SB 2514. Although SB 12, right here, received most of the attention, as opponents say it's a swipe at badly needed affordable housing in the state, while proponents say that the bill still provides and protects the average of the fund's coffers in past years. In either case, both Houses and Senate budgets and the Capitol complex is progressing through its window replacement complex and onto phase 3. So this is at the end of that email here. This is just giving us an update on what's happening with the projects for the Capitol complex. I know next to nothing about this project, but I'm glad to hear it's moving forward. Next up is the United States Department of Commerce. Just one quick little line here. Opportunities in the Middle East, East Africa, and North Africa. So we're talking Bahrain, Tanzania, Egypt, and Israel. And if you want to find more about that, once again, the link is down below, where we'll have some resources to those projects. And I'm sure that from here, it'll take you to some other information at the federal website. In any case, here it is. Link down below if you want to find out more about it. A reminder for call for nominations. Another convention reminder. If you want to know more, just listen to one of the last Friday Facts. And on to the Florida Caribbean and Architects magazine. As usual, we are looking for content to share. We know colleagues out there are doing great work, so let's share it. Please send information about anything that you want to share, or maybe are curious whether or not we should share. Because we accept member pitches for interviews, artwork beyond architecture, essays on community involvement, representation and inclusion, even commissioned on the board designs, and even more. So anything that you think is worth sharing, or anything at all. I'm also suggesting that if you know of a student that has won an award for one of the projects through one of the schools in Florida, and let's limit it to maybe lower and upper division, but anything that you see that is worthy to share, please share it with us. The worst thing that we can say, maybe not now, maybe for the next one. So share. And to close out the emails, once again, I'd like to see all of this long line down here of all the upcoming events. We have a few coming up for Fort Lauderdale, the usual Ask an Architect in Gainesville. Hopefully Gulf Coast, share some of their events coming up. Jacksonville with a few, Miami also with a few, Northwest Orlando, and I'll get into that a little bit later. And maybe some of those events should be here. So anybody in Orlando listening, please share it with Henning so we can post it up here. Palm Beach has a few, Southwest, Space Coast, Tallahassee, Tampa Bay. And on the bottom, Treasure Coast, State and National, nothing there to do. As I said, this is closing out the email, but we will move on to other topics as I mentioned. And so, some of the other happenings this week is we had Orlando's Foundation for Architecture announcing their 2020 scholarship recipients. And congratulations to Daphne Ibarra, Melissa Orozco, Whitney Jean, or Whitney Jean. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correct. I know there's a couple different pronunciations on the last name there. Alexandra McCoy and Natalie Casey. Once again, congratulations on your well-deserving scholarship. Hopefully, I'm sure it will be put into good use. 2021 scholarships to be awarded are down here, as you can see in the email. If you know anybody in Orlando or thinking of going to Orlando, I recommend sharing this email, particularly this link, with them, and to put an application. Next up, out of Orlando once again, it's next up in Orlando once again, it's Orlando's OFA, or Orlando's Foundation for Architecture. It's on its third season on Inside Voices, Black Thoughts, and it's back with episode 1, From the Bench to the Board. And I quote, "We will be discussing the importance of being in positions of leadership to affect and enact real change within the Black community as it pertains to the housing and quality of life. We'll be discussing the problems that gentrification and redlining have caused and how we as architects can play a role in fixing that." And this is where I jump in, and I would say that as architects and also as citizens, we need to be involved in what happens politically. It is how we organize ourselves, and to shun yourself out of the process, it does a disservice to you and to the community at large, because we don't have your input, and we need everybody's input into how we can coexist in this blue marble that we have. And of course, within our countries, within our states, within our, counties, within our cities, within our neighborhoods. So please be involved in anything that you can, or at least stay generally aware of happenings around you. Next up, though, we have AIA's A Blueprint for Better. This was an email that I received titled rise of regenerative design, and it had a couple interesting topics. So this website, you can find and share interesting topic related to sustainability and what architects can do to help. You can see a few links here. I'm sure more articles change as more information comes in. You can, of course, join the campaign that they have happening. You have some more resources here about what they are, some of the resources, and ways to take action. But within that email, the big draw for me was this article on this project, which is the rise of regenerative design. To be honest, I haven't gotten a chance to read it, but I did have a chance to take a look at the video, and it was a very interesting topic on this project, and I encourage everyone to take a look at this video. It's only a minute and a half. The link is down below. Take a look at it, and if that rises your curiosity, then go ahead and read the article as a whole. But at the very least, definitely take a look at that video. And finally, NCARB's think tank. For nearly a decade, as it says here, just reading off of the top here, for nearly a decade, NCARB has invited emerging professionals from around the country to share feedback on licensure programs, brainstorm areas of improvement, and engage with NCARB leadership. So this is where we have a chance to influence what happens in NCARB. I believe Gloria Cloter, she is a great architect out of Tampa, and I believe she is, and sorry if I'm misremembering that, Gloria, but she's a Dominican architect. She came and from the DR and went through the whole process, became licensed, and she's got great projects coming for her. She's doing great things for her, and I believe she was part of NCARB, and she suggested ideas, and she had her voice heard. And I encourage everyone to consider applying, particularly if you're unhappy with what NCARB is doing. Some of the qualifications that I like to read off of here, it's that you must hold an active NCARB record, must not be licensed in any U.S. jurisdiction, have at least 320 approved AXB hours, have not held a committee or leadership role at any architectural collateral, and be willing and able to participate in all meetings. The Rethink Tank for recently licensed architects, so this is for some of you and or us really, who have been licensed within the last 3 years, have not held a committee or leadership role at any architectural collateral, and is willing and able to participate in all meetings. This is something that I strongly encourage anyone to participate in. This is how change happens, and this just goes back to something I said just recently on this Friday Facts, which is we need to at least be involved in some way in leadership, in politics, and in organizations that help us organize ourselves and the profession. Thank you once again for joining Friday Facts. Hopefully you got some good information out of this, and we'll see you next week. Bye.